Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of the Adultish Podcast. As always, it's your host, Afia A, and I want to welcome you all back to a new episode. I will say that we're going to take things slightly different for this episode of Adultish. As I mentioned in the previous episode, I have been recording with several friends of mine, and this episode of Adultish is going to be a pre-recorded conversation that I had with a friend who would like to be called Roblematic from here on out. Roblematic and I had several candid, hours-long, multi-part conversations that we recorded, and so I'm only going to take a snippet of one of our chats and have you guys listen to that today. Roblematic calls himself Roblematic because he thinks he is more problematic than he actually is. And he also requested that I didn't drop any of his social media handles because, quote, he doesn't want anyone attacking him on either Twitter or Instagram or wherever else he is because of all the bullshit that will fly out of his mouth during our conversations. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. We do touch a little bit on the conversation about bad sex. We also talk about the numbers game, like what number is too high or too low. And then we kind of round everything out about like my lessons in porn and me actually giving him a bit of a lesson in porn as well. You may hear some terms that we throw out at each other. One term might be low-key jealousy, and that's just because of a previous conversation that we had wherein he asked me if I was a jealous type. I said I was a low-key jealous person, and at the end of that discussion, he basically just said I wasn't a low-key jealous person, but that I was just super lazy in my jealousy and just really didn't give too much of a shit like other jealous women would. And quite honestly, I'm proud of that. But without further delay and further ado, I want you all to listen to this and to enjoy. I hope you guys have fun hearing us chop it up, laugh it up, and just talk a bunch of shit. And if you have any feels whatsoever about this episode, please be sure to listen to the end so that way I will drop my socials for you all and you can go ahead and hit me up there. All right? So without further ado, here's our combo. You ever had bad sex?
I've had most of the sex I've had. This is like my only allyship with women. Mm-hmm. Most of the sex I've had in my life has been bad, but it's still, you gotta, I gotta get my my steps in.
Gotta get your fuck bit in.
My Fitbit ain't these steps.
Your fucking Fitbit.
It's it happens, but it's still all right. It's still not that bad. Even when it's bad, it's still not that bad. Not that bad. It's just like that wouldn't. Well, whatever. Cheerio. Like, who am I? You can't really be complaining about she didn't have to fuck me, So, I ain't gonna critique, The movie's bad, but I didn't have to pay for it. I mean, why am I mad? At least I got to experience it.
I got to see it.
I got to experience it. And, it was something to do. Something to do.
Damn.
But it happens. I don't know why you would even ask me that.
Because I want to hear.
Oh, nah. Because I know that it's like a thing where, like, a lot of women, they don't even fathom the concept of like a woman
being bad.
Yeah, and it's because we suck at describing bad sex. So like,
because women, you hear like, "Oh my God, that was terrible."
yeah, but
you
it's
don't
so
hear
many.
guys saying,
Like,
"Oh, that
that's
was
because
a horrible
we
leg."
have like a lot of different ways to be bad. You know, we like we could, you know, we could spread out all kinds of whackness on y'all. We can do all kinds of things
But women
that are not
can't do
good.
that for men, though.
Yeah, they
Like,
can. It's just that we don't care. Maybe we just don't feel like we deserve it to be good. Like, I think women demand, like, this is supposed to be good, and if it ain't good, I'm gonna be mad. And we're just like, hey, I shouldn't even be here. Like, like every time you know, most of the time you have consensual sex with women.
with women,
you be like, I might have did some hoodwinking.
You just
like,
thankful
like,
that you even.
Like, I shouldn't be here, and I'm here, and I'm just gonna appreciate.
You're just thankful you even got some.
Yeah, you ever been like in like a rich person's house or at like something really fancy, and you just felt all out of place, and you knew you wasn't supposed to be there, so
Yes.
you didn't know if you could like eat stuff or drink anything, and that's how like having sex with a woman is. It's like, I'm not supposed to be here really, and I'm just here, and this is nice, and I appreciate it. So then if it's bad, you just go. And then it might not be. Maybe sometimes you got to think on it. See, when we're like bad, you know it then, you know it afterwards. It's bad all the way through. Sometimes with y'all, it's just like, well, I don't even know if it was bad or not. I don't know. I remember good. It's like, like you remember, like, you know, like if, like, hypothetically, say I had sex with a lot of women. Hypothetically, I only had sex with 2 women in my whole life, and they both were lovely, awesome, charitable women. But say I had sex with a lot of women, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could only remember like the 3 awesome ones and the 3 terrible ones. And everybody else in the middle is just like, motherfuckers in the middle.
Yeah.
And I would rather be remembered for being one of each of those than being in the middle. I'd rather somebody just be like, oh, that was terrible. I'd rather be terrible than just forgotten. But yeah, that's how I would do it if I had that wider spectrum of partners, which is like a thing people care about. You ever ask somebody that? How many people they have sex with?
I've only asked that once.
Why did you do that?
Because I was a virgin.
Oh, you took all the fun out of it. I was concerned for my safety. Because I was afraid. I hate your guy.
That was why I asked.
Oh, okay. Did he tell you the truth?
I mean,
not the truth. Did he give you an answer?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you like the answer?
It was okay.
What
like it was
it
like,
too high for you?
No,
did you have a
was,
number in your head that if he went over you was gonna feel away?
Not really, but I mean, like, I going into sex when I first going into sex, like I had an expectation that most men either way were going to have a double-digit number. Okay. That's just the expectation that was just the expectation for me. Like, I'm going to expect to hear a number that's like 10 or 12 or 15 or maybe even 20. Like, I'm already expecting that, especially like at a certain age. Like, I'm expecting, like, if you're in your 30s, I'm going to expect you to say, oh yeah, like I've slept with like 20 something women.
What's too much? Is there something is a number too high? Is there a number that's too high for you that you start to go, that's dangerous waters there, sir?
I don't know if it's dangerous waters per se. Like, if you're clean and doing what you got to do, then I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see that it's really dangerous waters. I mean, like,
what kind of waters?
I know. I mean, it's murky. I don't know if it's dangerous.
Okay, murky. Yeah, but what?
It's murky, but it ain't like an oil spill. Like an oil spill would be like porno levels. Like, I slept with like 1,000 women, and it's like, and you're not a porn star, and you're only 33.
I'm just charming. I'm just charming in a motherfucker, you know.
Yeah, that means you slept with a woman every day of your life for like the last X amount of years.
So 1,000 is it's something lower than that would make you feel like it was 1,000 though. Right?
Probably. I'm trying to think of a number in my head right now. I feel like if you go over like because I'm trying to be like democratic about it.
I don't know why.
Okay, so like in my head right now, like the number is hitting me is like 50. Like if you go over 50, then I'm like, all right, that's
At what age? What age is a lot for 50 to
like
be a lot
in
for
your
a
like
man?
mid 30s,
So 35.
and you have like over 50. I'm like, all right,
Okay. All right. Okay.
because that then says to me, and I think the way I'm breaking it down in my head is that, for instance, like I said, if you come out the cut and you're like, okay, well, I slept with, hypothetically, you said, okay, I slept with like 1,000 women or whatever, and you're like 35. So that gives me an idea that, okay, for at least there was 1 year, for every day of that year, 365 days, there was a different woman that you slept with.
Well, do you think that somebody,
and that's for like 3 years 3 years back to back, you slept with at least 300 women.
Do you think it would be bad if somebody slept with 2 people a year? What do you like?
I don't think that's bad, because the reason why, and to counter what I'm saying about like the 1,000 thing, is because that lets me know, or gives me the impression that you don't have, or have no intention, or have ever had a relationship with a person to not.
Yeah, but if you have sex with 2 people a year, that's not like a lot.
It's not a lot. No.
No.
Well, no. I'm saying, like, to me, that's the inverse of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you sleep with a person a day for a year.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna sleep with a person a day for a year.
Well, there might be people out there.
Yeah, but they need to. No, I don't want to talk about weird people. I want to talk about a day.
So a person who, okay, so a person to
year.
me, okay, so if a person who sleeps with 2 people a year.
What's your streak?
It gives
What's
me.
your streak? How many days in a row have you fucked somebody? It wasn't 365.
No.
It wasn't any 100 or anything. It wasn't 65.
I mean, again,
I know she ain't fucked nobody.
Because it could be, okay, so it don't gotta be.
Did you fuck somebody 65 days in a row? Yes or no?
No.
All right then. You should have said yes. I would have. just to make you get a dumb look on my face.
No.
I be fucking. I don't know who you think I am, but when I find
because
something,
even so, okay, so
I sit on it.
Person a day a year, or let's say you can equate that to they had like the ultimate gangbang or some shit. I don't know, 5 women. I don't know. I really don't know. Don't care.
You making it too nasty. I don't know why trying to do no gangbang. Have you ever seen one of those things?
On the porno sites.
Oh, so yes.
Yes.
Oh, you nasty.
Yep. So
you gotta type that in. That don't just come up.
Exactly.
You gotta go to that. That shit
it's
on
a selection on the left hand side.
Phoebe.
It is.
It is not on the homepage.
It is.
Yo,
it is a selection in the categories.
Oh my god.
But even still, like I said, so two people a year.
Get away from
I
me.
I would ultimately assume, even though assuming is wrong, but I would assume if you're doing 2 people a year, then maybe it's because you were in a relationship with 2 people that year.
Now, why would you assume that?
That's what I'm saying. I would assume.
No, that's not. No. Oh, you one of them people. Everybody.
One of those suckers. Yes.
Everybody you sleep with. Oh, that was my boyfriend, man. But you don't do weird math. Like, you don't do like girl math, lady math.
I don't know what those things.
Where certain guys don't count.
No.
But you did fuck them, but they don't count because they wasn't your boyfriend, or you didn't like them like that.
No.
So they don't get the count.
No.
Are you doing that kind of math?
No.
So 50 is high for a guy. What's high for a woman? In your estimation.
And at that same age, I would.
Yeah, why would the criteria change?
I'm sorry. I would give the same number. Like,
I don't believe you. Look, no confidence because you don't believe that. You should, but you ain't an ally. You don't believe. You think so 50 would be high for a woman, but not 40.
Anything more than 50.
I think you just like round numbers.
I do like round numbers.
I
do.
I don't know. One, I wouldn't ask anybody ever because I don't want to know that, and I don't want to be thinking about it. But also, I don't care how many people. I would rather 50 than 2. Well, but I would ask her. But if I would rather her answer be 50 than 2.
Mm.
But Yeah, I don't know why people like to even try to
quantitate
ask that.
I don't.
Nothing
that's
good.
why, and that's why I'm
Nothing
literally
good
just
can come
giving.
from
I
it.
literally just give numbers because
Nothing good can come
I don't
from
think about it, and I don't think about it